Flamingo chef, show us what you got with cocktails and dishes that hit the sweet spot.
Fresh baked bread. There's only 4 ingredients in this. You got to try it. Let me show you how. So these rolls are like the easiest thing in the world to make. And they only have 4 ingredients, one of which is water. It's just a matter of some time and patience, quite frankly. I do recommend you do this in a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, if you want to do this by hand, you can. Just keep in mind there's going to be a lot of churning involved to get this dough built. So I'm going to use a paddle attachment on my KitchenAid. I actually have 3. I want to show you all 3 and show you what the differences are. This is the one that comes with most stand mix KitchenAid mixers. Just a solid metal piece, works great for heavy dough. It has one big drawback. It does not touch the bowl. So consequently, you're constantly have to shutting it off, taking a spatula and pull stuff down. So this is the one that KitchenAid likes to sell you as an aftermarket product. It's the same basic thing. They took out the old crossbar and then they added a paddle to clean the outside of the bowl. Works great. Costs about 30 bucks. This one is made of plastic. I found this on eBay, or I'm sorry, on Amazon. I think I spent like $10 for this thing. And it has scrapers on both sides. Now, if you're producing a really, really thick bread dough, this isn't going to work because it doesn't have any weight. But man, if you're producing anything else, this is the way to go. This works for heavier dough. That's really the difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this right here in the stand mixer. Really simple. I'm going to make enough to make 3 good size rolls, mainly because it's just me. So this is half a batch, if you will, where the traditional batch, just double the numbers if you want 6 of these. But I know how much bread I eat, so I don't need a lot. All right, so we're going to use 1 1/4 cup of bread flour. Now, it is very important on this you do use bread flour because otherwise you're not going to get that crusted consistency that you want, and it's going to just not be very good. So this is a 1 cup measurement. And a 1/4 cup. Up next, you need salt. Now, you want fine ground salt here. If you want a fresh grind salt and do this, I guess that's okay. I think it's kind of a waste of time. This is just Morton sea salt, fine ground. You don't need a lot of this. About 1/2 of a teaspoon for a half a batch. A full teaspoon for a full batch. This is bread machine yeast. It's also known as instant yeast. Same thing. You can get it in individual packets. You can buy it in these little containers. This little container was like, I think, $5. This stuff keeps as long as you keep it dry and keep it in your cabinets. It's fine. So I always buy the full container. This is a brand new one, if you might have guessed from the sound. I'm going to need 1/4 of a teaspoon of this. It's really surprising how little water is needed. This is 1/2 cup, 4 ounces. That's all that goes in this. Now, what I'm going to do is put the paddle attachment on here, the dough attachment, if you will. Lock this down, and I'm just going to mix this together until it gets completely emulsified, so there's no dry component left. That took less than a minute, and you have nice dough ready to work with. Got a little water on my fingers, makes it easier to handle the dough. And I'm just going to make this into a real simple ball, put it into a container that I can cover, and leave it on the counter for about 30 minutes. So as we sit and kill the first 30 minutes, Panther had to have a scratch. Say hi, buddy. After 30 minutes, we're going to open this up, fold the dough over itself 3 or 4 times, and then let it sit for another 30 minutes and fold the dough over itself 3 or 4 times. When you open this, you're going to see that it has expanded already. I recommend that you get one of your hands wet to do this. Lift the dough and just fold it over itself. Lift it again, fold it over itself. And you're just going to do this 3 or 4 times. Basically, all you're doing is reactivating the yeast. Let it stretch on its own, fold it over, bring it up, put a little more water on your hand. Just kind of stretch it across the bowl. Stretch it across the bowl, fold it over itself, and just do this a few times till you can see that it kind of changes appearance and form. And this will activate your yeast. Okay. Put it back in the bowl, cover it for 30 minutes. After another 30 minutes, open it and do it again. And then we'll be back. After 30 minutes, it's got some air in there. I'm going to do the second folding. And then I'm going to cover it again and let it rest and rise for 2 hours. Oh, air came out of there. It's starting to look like a padded dough. Once again, a little water. And this time when you pull this apart, be willing to really beat that dough a little bit because we want to release all the remaining work that yeast has to do. And then fold it over itself, kind of like pizza dough at this point. Don't be afraid to stretch it to its limits, because this next 2 hours is when it's going to rise. It's been 2 hours in this container, and I'm not going to lie to you, the top has popped off of it 3 or 4 times because of the carbon dioxide building in there. But we're going to go ahead and open it, and you can hear the gas release, or maybe you can't on the video, and that bowl is full. So I've got a little light floured cutting board here and a knife. All I'm going to do is try to roll this dough out onto the board as best I can. Get as much as you can. And we're just going to press it down, and it's going to be a mess. And like an idiot, I forgot to wet hand before I did this, but that's all right. Want to get a little of that dry flour on this so it works a little easier. Roll it on the board. Okay. And you may have to flour twice just so you don't have a lot of wet spots to work with. Now the idea here is to press this out and fold the dough over itself. Stretch and fold. Do this 2 or 3 times till you get a soft working dough. And then you're going to cut it into portions depending on how many pieces of bread you want. Now I'm going to turn this into 2 large pieces of bread because just 2 of us having dinner. But if you do a full batch, like I was telling you at the beginning, it makes about 6 pieces. Normally a half batch is 3, but I'm going to make 2 large ones. So all I'm going to do is cut this in half. Okay. And then I'm going to make these into balls lightly. Okay. Now, you're going to need a parchment papered baking dish. Now, I'm just using this half sheet pan baking pan. I suggest you have 2 dishes so that you can cover one with the other like so when it's in the oven. So just with a simple sheet of parchment paper, I'm just going to lay these in here. I'm going to cover it with the other pan and I'm gonna let it sit here for 30 minutes before it goes in the oven. We're gonna take this top off, prepare the buns, and we're gonna put them in the oven. You're gonna cook it at 425 for 20 minutes with the top pan on. Then take the top pan off, cook them another 10 minutes, take them out of the oven, let them rest, they're done. And that's what it looks like when it comes out of the oven, ready to eat. As always, if there's something you'd like me to make, if you have a question or a comment, you can drop it right here on the video or an email, bill@kansasflamingochef.com. Eat fabulous, and I'll see you on the next one.
In the heart of Kansas, under sky so clear, lives a chef with a flair, bringing folks some cheer. With a pinch of love and a dash of zest, he's the Kansas Flamingo, and his meals are the best.